It is showtime, baby. Got Zeke on here.
That's
It
right, the
is
one and only.
the one and only. He's got his shades on today. He's looking a bit ominous today. I think he might be a bit pissed off about some of the things that happened during the day today.
Well, let's just say it's no coincidence why I'm wearing all black, because today was my funeral.
The funeral of those Miami Dolphins, if you will. I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea what in the blue hell they're doing right now. But nonetheless, we're gonna get into that.
Yes.
This is an all-encompassing reaction to all of the free agency moves that went down today around the league because let's just say there were quite a few.
It was a
It
day.
was
It was a
it, it
day.
was very busy in the league today. Few teams went crazy. Raiders, the Titans. I should say the Tennessee Giants or the New York Titans.
There you go.
If you will. There's just a few of the teams that went absolutely bananas, and then some didn't spend any money at all. So, Zeke, I'll let you take the reins here. Where do you want to go first of all these teams?
Well, I want to go by something that surprised me. I mean, it didn't surprise me as far as their interest because the Chiefs were linked to Kenneth Walker for the last week or whatever, but I kept saying, yeah, he might take a little bit smaller of a deal to go there just because it's Kansas City. Because to me, I'm like, yeah, Kansas City needs a running back, but never did I think that Kansas City would drop $15 million a year on a running back.
No, I did not think that was. We talked about this on the phone. I did not think that was going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think many people did. It's not a very Kansas City thing to do. I mean, I like it. I also saw that Mike Evans at one point, Casey was linked to him. So was Baltimore, Buffalo, all the teams that have quarterbacks, right? You look at it as well. He wants to go to a winning team. Which I'm not gonna lie, if they could have pulled that one off, they could have pulled off Mike Evans and Kenneth Walker. That would have been
Kind of scary.
That would the things would have got real interesting. I mean, their secondary is gonna be rough this year. I mean, Spags will figure it out anyway. But no, the Ken Walker thing for me, it just that was one where I just really sat back and was like, wow. I was really, really surprised with that one. I like it, but 15 mil, especially for a running back, and listen, I love Ken Walker.
Me too.
But the injury history, and who he was in the playoffs and the Super Bowl is not who he is all year round. He's not consistently that good. So,
well, I went through his stats because I made a long form video today about Kenneth Walker going to the Chiefs, and if you go through game by game. Like he had some games like the Pittsburgh game and the Rams game where he had north of 100 rushing yards. Like really went off.
Yeah.
And then some games like that Indy game, I think he had like 13.
Right.
The first San Fran game of the year, he had 20. You know what it reminds me a lot of. Remember, it's an NBA comparison, so I might not be razor sharp with this, but I'm going to try my best to get this right. Caleb Martin, right, with the Heat.
I believe so.
He went on this run in the postseason, and then got signed by the Lakers.
He went to the Lakers?
I think so. Again, NBA. I might be a bit off, but there's a dude who was on the Heat who went crazy in the postseason. And nobody really heard of him before. And that's not like Kenneth Walker. Like, people know of Kenneth Walker.
Well, yeah.
But he had a crazy playoff run, right? I mean, he had 135 against New England. So went absolutely nuts. Went nuts against San Fran in that divisional game as well. Yep. Did great picking up the slack for Zach Charbonnet. So just really valuable player overall. But I knew that teams were going to look at him and be like, oh, he's one of the better running backs in the league. Let's give him a bag. So $14.3 million a year wasn't. It could have been worse. It definitely could have been worse. But it's still a lot of money for him. I feel like
a lot of money.
It's a slight overpay, not a crazy overpay. Trust me, we had plenty of those today. But it's just a slight overpay.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, it's such as free agency, right? That's just what happens. I mean, when you look at teams like Raiders and the Titans, all these teams that have a lot of salary cap because they suck and don't have any true big names, they'll always overspend a free agency just because they just want to just get their guy. The negotiations are just forget all that. We want our guy. We'll overpay, so it happens all the time.
Well, I feel like sometimes those teams take the approach of like let's throw spaghetti to the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah,
Like that's what I saw with like I feel like with both the Titans and the Raiders, like some of these are really gonna hit, and then some of them are gonna be way off the mark. Like it's I don't know what the success rate's gonna be, but I think that the Raiders had a bit more strategy.
yeah.
But overall, like they both just kind of feel like, all right, let's go sign a bunch of guys and let's see, let's just cross our fingers and see how it turns out.
Well, and I mean, to move on to another guy, let's talk about the fact that Tyler Linderbaum resetting the entire center market. I mean, wow. You're going from Creed Humphrey, who was the highest paid and, in my opinion, best center in the league, at $18 million a year. Now you're jumping up $9 million a year, going to $27 million a year for a center. I mean, that is, and you know me, I love O-line.
Me too.
And the center is the anchor, but man, $27 million a year is a lot of money.
Yeah, that was I saw it today and I was flabbergasted because look, I've always been an advocate for paying offensive linemen. I think that they are your hardest working people on the field. No team would ever be successful out there without success in the trenches. Hell, I got the shirt. It's far from me here, but it says it. Actually, yeah. Let me do a little merch promo here.
Here we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Hold on. Success starts in the trenches. Damn it.
That's right. We've said it a million times. It's been shown a million times.
It's true. But resetting the market like that completely for Tyler Linderbaum, that's going to be that's nuts, and it's going to have a huge effect on the league here, especially with how we're going to have to pay centers, offensive linemen, but especially centers now moving forward.
Just to throw a jab out there, because that's what I like to do, especially with you. Is you know where he went to college, right?
You got me here. Is it Auburn?
No. Oh, come on. Now you're going to guess the SEC? No, he went to Iowa. He's an Iowa man. We all know Iowa produces offensive linemen, which means he came out of the Big Ten because, that's what the Big Ten does. We get paid, baby.
Well, Iowa has always been Iowa and Wisconsin has always been where you go for them corn-fed offensive linemen, and Tyler Linderbaum is one of them.
Yeah, they said the same thing about Notre Dame, and yet Miami drafted Liam Eichenberg. We all saw how that ended, so...
Their offensive line prowess has fallen off over the past 5 years. I think that we can all agree, but Iowa's hasn't.
You ain't kidding.
Notre Dame has not been as reliable at the offensive line position these past couple of years, especially when it comes to how guys translate. Joe Alt could be good, but coming off the injury too. So
for sure.
But
so
I'm looking at a couple of these deals here for the Raiders today.
Yeah.
They went nuts. They ended up getting Kwity Paye. I was wondering where he was going to go. He's got a $16 million a year deal, which
former first round pick.
Yes, sir. I remember Kwity Paye, 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Nakobe Dean, which is crazy. That entire most of that Philly defense to this point has almost completely evaporated from that Super Bowl run because he's gone. Reed Blankenship is gone now too.
Yeah, he just went to Houston.
It's which the rich got richer on defense at least.
Yep.
They got your boy Quay Walker.
Thank goodness he's not a Dolphin. That's all I can say. You want to talk about a guy who's got a goddamn attitude and acts like a thug.
I'll never forget that.
He's athletic. He's athletic as hell, and I'll give him that. And yes, obviously, him with Halfley would have been, he would have known the scheme. It would have been great. But yeah, the way he acts, no, thank you. So
the whole shit in the game against the Lions, the Week 18 game.
Yep. He fits right in with the Raiders. Assholes.
Zeke's a big Raider fan, by the way.
Hate the Raiders.
Just put it out there, and he's going to Vegas in a couple of months.
Oh yeah, you're going to be there too. So
yeah, I'm gonna have to be patrolling his ass while I'm there.
That's right.
They kept their boy Eric Stokes,
Yep.
which his signing. He's been a good reliable corner for them these past couple years. He's been good with the Raiders, and then they got your boy Taron Johnson in a trade with the Buffalo Bills. So they got a few of your boys here: Quay Walker, Taron Johnson. They're just rolling.
Taron Johnson was going to get released too, and luckily enough, for Buffalo, they were able to get late round pick there for him, which good for them. But congratulations, you got one of the better slot corners. Congratulations, whoop de fucking do.
They also got your boy Jalen Naylor from Minnesota.
Oh yeah, real deep threat.
Real burner, baby. But I mean, out of all these, Linderbaum is that line, and I was not expecting him to go there. Like the talk that we were having was Giants, Chargers, or stay with Baltimore, and he ends up switching up and going out to Vegas. I was kind of flabbergasted when I saw that. I'm not gonna lie.
Apparently, Baltimore was cool with the 3 years, but they just weren't willing to get up to 27, which I don't blame them. They're about to extend Lamar as it is. You just bring in Max Crosby. Like, there's just not enough money to go around.
Well, you also don't want to become another New Orleans Saints too, which if they were to bring in Linderbaum, I mean, there could be the potential for that dead money afterwards, lasting you years, and you could be deep in the red for a couple of years, and you don't want to get yourself into that position where like you're 35, 40 in the red at this time of year, and you have a Super Bowl to show for it, because we've seen in these past couple of years, there's no guarantee of anything. Like it's great
100%.
they brought in Crosby and all, but there's no guarantee of anything.
100%. I even though I hate the Raiders, I like the Linderbaum signing, even though it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And the Kobe Dean's another guy who I've always liked.
Yep.
I was really hoping Linderbaum was going to go to the Commanders. I really was, because I root for Washington. I always have. I have a soft spot for him, partially because I fuck with him and I hate the Giants. So.
Yeah, Zeke is a well-known, well-documented Giants hater.
That's right. There's receipts out there, believe me.
All over Facebook. Go like Kurt Signetti says, Google him.
That's right.
Yeah. I was personally, like, my inclination was that Linderbaum was going to go to the Chargers, but then they went and got Tyler Biadasz after the Commanders released him, and I was like, all right, whatever floats your boat, man. You got it.
Yeah, well, and especially for the Chargers too. Center's big in Mike McDaniel's system, the outside zone scheme. So, definitely thought they would have went big for Tyler Linderbaum, but oh well.
Yeah, I mean, time goes on. I thought that would have been their guy. I mean, and it was evident that the Giants weren't going to spend a lot. So like, I wasn't the Giants did exactly what I expected them to do. Let's talk about them here for a minute, since they're one of Zeke's favorite teams. Let's talk about these New York Football Giants. They held on to Gunnar Olszewski.
Who gives a shit?
Great return man, baby.
I mean,
they now have the highest paid punter in the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, listen, field position is big, so people don't appreciate punters as much as they should.
True.
So I'm not going to dog the Giants for that one. I whatever. I get it.
No, I totally get it. I respect it. I just was pretty funny when I saw it.
It's funny as hell, but I get it.
But let's say they weigh. I like the quote that you said this morning in our group chat. Like the player, don't like the deal. Isaiah Likely, 3 years, $40 million, insane.
Yeah, I mean, there was a point there where in Baltimore he looked like he was gonna fully take over the role from Mark Andrews, who can be 50-50 sometimes. But then he just started getting less and less burn. And, Giants obviously – because here's the thing with John Harbaugh. He likes lining his tight ends up in the slot, a guy that can actually catch the goddamn ball. And Isaiah Likely's got some solid hands. I think he'll fit in well there. Obviously, the comfort with Harbaugh's, big. But $13 million a year, I'm not saying it's a super overpaying. It's only 13 mil, but I mean it's definitely a little more than I would have been willing to go. But it is what it is.
Yeah, it was definitely a little out of my range too when it came to the Giants. I wasn't with their cap space. I was not expecting them to indulge that much in Isaiah Likely, but I will say I like the Tremaine Edmonds deal. I,
Yeah.
I thought that he was great with Chicago this year. I thought they got him for a good price, 12 mil a year.
Yeah.
I think of the Giants. I think that Joe Shane worked his well. I don't want to say magic, but he did his thing. I had to bite my tongue there for a second because I was going to sound like a jackass. So yeah, Tremaine Edmonds, I like that deal. I think that he's going to add a good element of physicality to that Giants defense.
Yeah, I think it was a good signing. He'll be a lot more productive as a run stopper than Bobby Okereke was. He brings a good element to defense. I mean, you look at Harbaugh every time. I mean, linebackers big for him, whether it's Patrick Queen or the big trade for Roquan Smith years back, and the Ray Lewis's. Like it's just you need linebackers, and I don't think they're done at linebacker. I heard they might be in the mix for Leo Chanel from Kansas City, who's a solid player. That won't be a super. It's not. It's going to be a low cost deal. Good player. Anybody that really thought the Giants were going to go into free agency and just throw money around, I mean, that just was not reality. That's not how Harbaugh does business. Um,
No,
you
like
know,
I think that there was a perception that they were going to do that for a little while, and then it came out this morning. Like the organization was very clear. This is not going to be a spending spree. Like
yeah,
we're gonna get a couple. We may spend on one or two guys, and then it's gonna be a couple low cost, high ceiling guys. Try to hit on them, and that's been the strategy. So for where they are, I respect it.
I'm curious to see. So, I guess from what Josina Anderson was saying, it's Jets and Giants are both trying to trade for Brian Thomas Jr. right now. Jacksonville's ready to move off, which after the rookie year, we're all like, oh my god, and last year was went the way it
It's
went.
the weirdest thing. Like we went from like when you
Yeah,
can extend this guy to trying to ship out the building.
yeah. Well, the thing with him is you could tell like his confidence levels. Like if he gets a couple drops, dude, his confidence is in the goddamn toilet, and he gets in
Yeah,
his head
which
too much. So that's rough. But I think, especially for the Giants, I mean, he's a good player. I don't know what you would give up draft capital wise, but you pair him back with neighbors who they were teammates at LSU. I think that's a smart idea. That's a
yeah.
smart way to play it. Good player, could be very productive. And then I mean, between that, then you have him, neighbors, and Isaiah Likely. I mean, hey man, that's not bad. It's not bad. And I'm gonna say this right now. Depending on what they do as far as linebacker goes, um, I think it's still very much a possibility that Sonny Styles could very well be the pick for the Giants. I think it's going to be one of three guys in the draft for the Giants. It's either going to be Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, or and people won't like this because they love Cam Scannaboo, Jeremiah Love. And I think you saw that today in the way that teams went about their business, with Travis Etienne going to the Saints and Ken Walker going to the Chiefs, who are, picks 8 and 9. I think, yeah, they ultimately did want those guys and maybe didn't want to spend a first round pick on a running back. But I think that also goes to show that there's rumblings that he's not Jeremiah Love's not getting to 8 or 9. He could be a Titan, could be a Giant. Like he's going to go early. So the Giants, hey, I I'm not going to sit here and say it was a great day, but it wasn't. I'm not going to sit here and shit on them either. I mean, they did all right. They did what they needed to do.
They weren't. They didn't make a lot of splash moves, but they weren't radio silent either. They just made a couple moves. I really like the Edmonds one. I like the player with Isaiah Likely. I thought that they got him at a little bit higher of a price than I would have liked, but nonetheless, they got him in the building. And like you said, the comfortability with Harbaugh and the familiarity with the system. Those are things that you look for a lot. I mean, it's familiarity in the NFL is the name of the game. And
Yeah, especially when it's your first year in a new place. You just want to get a couple pieces together that are familiar, that can
yeah,
run things a little smoother. Just helps the whole transition.
no, it absolutely does. We've seen that with college, with Penn State, with Matt Campbell going out and getting several guys from Penn State going bring out Rocco Becht, like just to have that familiarity there. Like, okay, worked with this guy in Ames. Now we've got him out here and State College, Pennsylvania, working with me. It helps. So Harbs will get a few of those guys up there, and some really good young talent as well. And I've got to say, so far so good. We're 2 months into the Harbaugh era. I know that a lot of Giants fans want us to christen them as like bona fide NFC East favorites. We're not going to do that just yet. There's still a lot of time to go.
Those words will never come out of my mouth, so don't worry about that.
I know I don't have to worry about that.
Let
Trust
it
me, like I said,
burn.
well documented history.
That's right.
So let's take a trip down to Nashville, where a lot of your Giants ended up today.
Oh, the Tennessee Giants. Yeah.
They have now emerged as, like Zeke said, the Tennessee Giants. You've got Wan'Dale Robinson down there now, which
Overpay.
4 years, $78 million a year. That is some of these guaranteed money figures. They've been nuts. 38 million guaranteed for Wan'Dale Robinson is crazy.
Well, here's the thing. Everybody always talks about the cap goes up every year. The cap goes. I get that, but there's also certain points where certain guys, there's just a certain value that's, should be the cap. I mean, to give, and listen, I shit on Wan'Dale Robinson all the time. We all know our buddy Jonah is massive Wan'Dale Robinson fan.
Yes, he is.
I talk my shit. Listen, he's a solid receiver. He's a good player, but he sure as hell ain't worth that kind of money.
No, that's buku.
Yeah.
They also got Bobby Okereke.
Yep.
Earlier today, they're corner signings. I will say, I'm sure you can expand on this. I think that they're a little questionable. Cordell Flott and Alante Taylor. Cordell Flott is very small. And I thought that is an overpay, $15 million a year for him. And then Alante Taylor, I just think doesn't really fit their scheme. But let me know what you think.
Well, it's just, again, he's a slot corner. I mean, how much was it? Was it 20 a year?
Yes, sir. 60 million, 3-year deal. Yeah.
No, thank you. That's a little too rich for my blood. But again, that's what happens when you have that. When you have 99 million in cap space, you just kind of like, yeah, sure, what the hell.
Yeah.
It's not a fan now. People could say, oh, the Giants fans will say, oh, well, Flop played better last year. And sure, that might be true, but even his better play was still average. No thanks.
Yeah, I mean, 20 mil a year is a huge overpay for him, and then of course you got John Franklin Myers and
that was a
Jermaine
good signing
as well.
Yeah, both of them. They're really building that D line. Jeffrey Simmons is obviously still there, who I absolutely always will love. And Tennessee is absolutely an option for D line come draft time. Very well could go get that kid. What's his name? David Bailey from Texas Tech.
Yeah, David Bailey could definitely be a Titan.
He absolute dog. Could be in the mix. I mean, that D line is going to get after it, and say what you want. Yeah, the whole thing in New York for Solid didn't go very well. It never goes well for anybody when they wear that fucking green. That organization is cursed. I think what I like is his approach this year. His coaching staff is an true experienced coaching staff. He's got Gus Bradley down there with him. Brian Dable, who I've always been criticized as a head coach, but as an OC, I think he'll do much better, like he did in Buffalo. It's set up for Tennessee to be more successful. Will it happen? Who knows? They're bringing in new uniforms, which they look beautiful. It's the Oiler colorway, which is absolutely beautiful.
Wow,
Uh,
chef's kiss.
yes, yes. With that and the new stadium coming, things could be looking very bright for Tennessee, and it'd be cool to see the Titans be consistently good.
I just
Um,
I just want to see my boy Cam Ward thrive. It's been my guy for a while now.
yeah. We know. Last year, based off of your prediction on Tennessee, there, pal.
We don't need to go there.
But they were big spenders. The D line moves I liked. Secondary, yeah, didn't love it, but I trust Salah. I mean, look at what he did with San Fran last year when they were all banged up. I mean, he had guys who are lower
Yeah.
on the depth chart still playing solid ball. So who knows? Who knows? But
That was that. I still can't even explain what he did in San Fran last year.
yeah, it was good. It was real good.
Some things you just have to sit back and admire, and that was one of them. He had that defense clicking on all four cylinders, and from a personnel standpoint, completely beat up. I mean, no Bosa, no Fred Warner. It was that entire team was an absolute mess last year, and the fact that they got to the divisionals was beyond me.
Speaking of the Niners, couple things. One,
Okay, let's hear it.
if so, Dre Greenlaw got released from the Broncos. The rumor that I heard on Friday was it just so happens if he goes back to San Fran, if that happens, I don't know if it's going to happen, then they will still entertain Fred Warner trade talk, which blows my mind. And the Giants have come up time and time again in this rumor. And so now that I saw Greenlaw get released, I think it could be a possibility. I don't know if it happens because it's Fred Warner, right? That's a big move. But let me tell you, if it does, not only will I be very disappointed because Fred Warner is one of personally my favorite players in the league, but that'd be a hell of a get for the Giants.
Could you imagine him in that blue?
I'd rather not. I'd really rather not.
I mean, you remember how Giants fans reacted when they got Isaiah Simmons a couple of years ago.
Yes, I can't just imagine Fred Warner. Oh, jeez.
He's the next Lawrence Taylor.
Exactly. Bingo.
Well, they also said that about Abdul Carter.
Yeah. They're still just like Kayvon was a blue chip talent, and now he's on the trade block and they're not really getting any bites. So to hell with the Giants. But back to the 49ers. The Mike Evans move. 20 mil a year. They were slated to obviously pay Brandon Ayuk 27, which obviously was never going to happen because of the way everything went last year. I mean, there's a bunch of shit there that we'll never really we'll know about, but there's real bad blood there. Obviously, he's going to be gone. So between him gone, Juwan Jennings is a free agent. Who knows where he's going to end up? They needed somebody, right? And so Mike Evans. Now, to me. Well, I don't know. It's hard because I'm not a big Brock Purdy guy, and I'm not a big C.J. Stroud guy. But apparently, Houston was in the mix late for him, and the thought of and again, Nico Collins is another guy who I'm how I feel. I'm a little but him with Nico would have been two real physical big guys who go up and get the ball. That would have been interesting to see with David Montgomery. The whole thing it would have been. It would have been a little interesting. I think personally, if I was Mike Evans, I might have went there over San Fran just because.
I think that you have a better chance of getting back to the promised land, especially because of that defense, and you look at kind of what we were saying about Salah. That's now gone,
Right.
And so now you've got that personnel, which with we don't know what's going on with Fred Warner right now. Bose is coming back, but health is always a question. I mean, this is now 2 seasons where he's been so that when he's on, he's great, but when he's I mean, and San Fran is full of those guys. That's why it's always a wild card, and Mike Evans is another one of them. I mean, he's coming off of a hammy, so I'm I'm more concerned about that than I am the clavicle, obviously. But like it's a huge deal for a guy his age dealing with a hamstring injury. Is it going to lag? George Kittle, one of those guys, love him. He's made of glass. Every single year he's injured.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of Christian McCaffrey when he's healthy, phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's got to pass with injuries. So it's when I look at it, San Fran just added just another one of those guys. Look, there's things about the Mike Evans thing that I like. Okay, he gives a vertical threat to the Niners that's been absent these last couple years. They've got burners, they got good slot guys, but they don't have like they've got good young talent like Ayuk, Juwan Jennings, but they haven't had that vertical threat in a while, and so now they have that with Mike Evans, and I think that he could pair well with Brock Purdy because Brock Purdy's not a guy who can throw extremely deep downfield, and so Mike Evans is a guy who can make plays for him, and can also help him out with yards after the catch. I feel like too, he's also great with that. But what concerns me is the age, signing somebody getting close to the mid-30s to a 3-year contract. What's he going to look like in 2028? You know, when's the drop-off going to be? That's my concern with it.
Well, he knew going into this, like this was, this was his last. This was going to be his last little, real contract. I mean, after this, it'll be a 1-year deal if he wants to come back somewhere. And
yeah,
chasing the ring at the end. But like this was the last. This was the real last one. So, San Fran, it's a good place to play. The organization is solid, and, except for the practice field, but that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, next to the freaking substation.
Yeah.
My God.
So, I mean, listen, I get it. I get why they did it. The rumors that Kendrick Bourne's gone too. Even though I hate Kendrick Bourne, Juwan Jennings, Brandon Ayuk. Like now, it's really him, Ricky Pearsall. Good Lord.
It's not a great run.
So yeah, no. Well, even when they had Brandon Ayuk and Debo, I was never a huge Debo guy. I was never a huge Brandon Ayuk guy, and it looks like that's panned out to be, pretty true. And look at Debo. Debo's just sitting out there. Nobody wants. Who the hell wants Debo Samuel at this point? Broken down garbage is what I call it. So the Niners. I mean, I appreciate it. It'll be weird to see Mike Evans somewhere else other than Tampa.
Well, I said I made a little long form about that ordeal earlier too, and that was something I said. I was like, I could never picture this guy in another jersey. Like it's just weird to me. Spent 12 seasons in Tampa. I will say another silver lining for the Niners here is this is a guy who had 11 straight seasons of 1,000 yards or more, which is like unheard of.
Consistency at its best.
The hallmark of consistency, but he's bringing the injuries with him, so that's where the uncertainty comes from. Are you? So we're over half an hour in. Are you ready to talk about the boys in teal and orange?
I've been ready since about 1:00.
All right, I know that Zeke has been preparing tirelessly to talk about his beloved Miami Dolphins, who this morning we knew it was all coming, but they made the ultimate decision to end the Tua era and begin the Malik Willis era. Who I thought he was going to Arizona this whole time. I thought it was a done deal. I thought it was all but done, and like it was going to be announced early this morning, like right around the start of free agency. I was expecting that thing to be announced, and then to see him go to the Dolphins, I was shocked.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that. Jackasses, I tell you. Well, because Arizona had $60 million in cap, so everyone's like, well, it's easier, right? Miami doesn't have to figure out the whole cap situation. But like I told you on the phone this morning, when I saw the Minka trade go down this morning, which they were always going to trade Minka, but to do it today told me, okay, they're in on Malik. Like that is what they are making more cap space for. They want to really make a run for him. So when I saw that, I was like, "Oh man, you got to be kidding me, right? Like this is just a nightmare that I have to live." And I just thought, Arizona was just gonna outbid him, and that was gonna be that. Um, but but, but that, and now I was on my phone pretty much all day at work, which I should be working, but damn it, it's free agency. So um, I was out doing something at work, and I wasn't on the phone at the exact moment that it came out. And I looked down on my phone, and I see a bunch of notifications, a lot of notifications. I'm like, oh boy, what the hell is this? And before I even read them, I saw your text and said, "Y'all got Willis." And as I'm walking around work, I mean, Brian, you could have seen steam coming out of my ears. I mean, it was unreal. Dude, cause here's the thing. I get it. You know, that's they know his strengths, they know his weaknesses, like I was telling you earlier, and I get all that. But this is your first off season. You're coming off the whole tour situation with the money and the whole thing, and what's really going to be your plan, right? Now, you're obviously it's a fire sale, you're getting rid of everybody. All right, great. So, are you really going to be in the tank or not? Like, what are we doing here? Now, yes. Now, even with the roster, like there's a very good chance Malik Willis wins what 4 games. Okay, yeah. Then you still have a high draft pick, whatever. Could you still go draft a quarterback? You could. You very well could, because there's no so the 3-year deal, the last year of the deal, there's no guaranteed money. So whatever, right? And it's not a lot of money, but for the situation Miami's in, it's just not ideal, right? I mean, it's 22 million a year, whatever, right? It's an 8 million, close to 9 million cap hit this year, 21 next year, whatever. Because Stephen Ross, signed him a nice fat signing bonus. Mr. Goddamn money bags. Can't win a playoff game in 25 years. I don't know. I just don't like it. I like I said, they very well could still draft a quarterback next year, but I don't. Will they be bad enough to get the first pick? I don't know, because the Jets are still a team, so um, that could very well. Because from right now, the way it's probably going to be Geno Smith back to the Jets,
which they'll they actually statistically had one of the worst teams of all time last year, which is unbelievable to think that we watched one of the worst teams of all time take the field all year last year. That's what they had, and they. And we'll talk about them a little bit. They did a lot of work for their defense today.
Yes.
But offensively, there still seems to be just no pulse at all. It's like an episode of the Golden Girls. Just
Lord,
nothing. Dried up offense. And especially if you've got Geno Smith back there and Garrett Wilson's pretty much your guy. Breece Hall's probably on the way out, so it's interesting.
Well, I guess they said they want to keep Breece Hall there. Will they get a deal done? Who the hell knows? That's what they want to do. Like I said, they're in the mix for Brian Thomas Jr. Trying to bring him in. Who knows what happens? Either way, and then I saw the Jets' ideal quarterback room this year is Geno Smith and Carson Wentz. I'm like, oh my god! Did you watch Carson Wentz play last year?
And they have Frank Reich as their staff as their OC. It's like, oh my god!
The Jets just, even whenever I'm mad about the Dolphins, I sit there and say, well, it could be the Jets. There's a lot of times, and I get it. They've had more success than us because the whole 2010 bullshit. But listen, man, they've been pretty embarrassing. So to have a defense to not get one interception to an entire season, I mean that is, and your head coach's defensive minded guy. No thanks. No thanks.
And he's falling asleep at the combine. I'm like,
yeah.
I was like, you gotta be shitting me.
Yeah. So, I don't know. back. I gotta go back. I gotta go back to the teal real quick. I gotta go back to the Finns. All right. I just the Malik Willis thing. I mean, I guess it'll be nice to have a little bit more, a mobile quarterback. Because that's, I mean, obviously in the game today, that's very big. And the kid's arm is talented. There's upside, right? But there's only 6 games he started in his
Well, yeah,
career.
it's the sample size where it's just weird.
So I mean, who knows? If it doesn't work out great, but he does win a couple games, and we might not get a quarterback or the quarterback we want early on. Maybe I'll get fortunate enough to get my boy Jeremiah Smith, pair him with Waddle. I would very much be okay with that.
That's a lot of. I mean, at that point, you could just put me back there and sling it, and I'd have a halfway decent success rate.
Yeah, no. So I don't know. The start to this new front office is, I mean, I can't. At the end of the day, they think that that's their guy. I don't agree with it, but I'm willing to see what happens because I can't just be like, well, they don't know what the hell they're doing. I at least got to see them out, and if it goes down the fucking tubes, then I'll say, well, should have known that one, pal, because a lot of us feel that way. But I'm gonna be. I have no anger left, Brian. I'm a sad, depressed man.
God,
I cannot take much more of this. I mean, I told you this that Thursday night Bills Dolphins game 2 years ago. My heart has never been ripped out of my chest worse than that. I mean, that was rock bottom for me as a Dolphin fan, to where the emotions, there's just none left. Like, I was sitting there thinking about the other day, man, and we're just at a point where it's just gotten so hard to be a fan, and I'll always be a fan, but man, these are trying times, my friend.
no, like it's when you're going on 20 years as a fan without a playoff win, it's and then you see an organization continue to make moves that sets it back further and further and further. It's hard. It's hard to endure that.
Yes.
I'll give
But
that to you.
enough
It's
about the
it's
fish.
it's what's that?
I said, but it's okay. Enough about the fish.
We are moving on from the fish. We didn't address the elephant in the room. We addressed the fish in the room.
Yes.
So I knew you'd like that one.
Yes.
Which team do you want to go to next? I'll leave it up to you.
Well, I'll say I'm very disappointed in the Chargers. Can I just say
Yeah,
that?
I thought they were gonna do more today. I'm with you.
I mean, you got the money. Make some noise.
Yeah,
Make some noise.
I was a little disappointed by them. Because I made a whole video a couple weeks ago. I'm like, these guys are going to go crazy at the trade deadline because they had like $93 million in cap space, and they went and got Alec Ingold's and Charlie Kohler, and I honestly I like both of those guys.
Yep.
But that's like you've got money to go out and get Mike Evans.
Yep.
Or you had the money to go out and get Tyler Linderbaum.
Yep.
And you settle with Tyler Biadasz. I'm with you. I'm disgusted in the Chargers. And this, you know what it's setting it up for? You know what it's setting it up for?
What?
Another year of all the excuses. Oh, if Justin Herbert had this and this and this, we'd be here. Well, guess what? He doesn't.
That's right. That's right. I mean, I've never met somebody that gets more excuses in my life than that long-haired freak.
Him, he gets all the excuses, and then Tua gets called a bust and compared to Jamarcus Russell. It's crazy how it works out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jamarcus Russell never, led the league in passing percentage, passing yards.
Went to the playoffs.
Playoffs twice. But I don't know. What do I know? I mean, he's going to be in a battle down there in Atlanta, man. Him and Michael Penix. I mean, people think, oh, it's Penix's job. I wouldn't listen.
No, it's not. I actually think it's Tua's job. I'm not a big Michael Penix guy at all.
Tua is gonna. I mean, the receivers there are already used to catching a left-handed ball. Tua's gonna take a lot of the first team reps anyway because Penix is out with the ACL during the off season. So, Tua's gonna have a shot for the thing, and he's got weapons there. He's got Drake London, he's got Kyle Pitts, he's got Bijan, who is an absolute animal. He's got Stefanski there. I mean, things could work out well for him, and I hope they do.
Well, and why I really like it is they got him for virtually nothing. I mean, It's a league minimum. And you've also got Bijan on his rookie contract. You got Drake London, who's on his 5th year.
Yep.
So and Kyle Pitts, I'm still waiting for his kind of breakout year.
There's flashes, but he's
inconsistent. But maybe I mean Tua has been good with tight ends. And immunity. Tua has been good with tight ends. And he's really good in systems like Kevin Stefanski's. Where number one, they're predicated on accuracy, timing passes, tempo. There's a lot of play action in his offenses. You kind of marry the run of the passing game. And he also has a lot of looks where you got a running back and 2 tight ends. And that's something that Tua would play with a lot in Miami. So schematically, I think that Tua is a great fit in Atlanta.
We'll see, man. I'm hoping the best for him. I really am.
There's a team in particular that I want to sound off on for a second.
Okay.
The Arizona Cardinals.
Oh my God! Talk about a dumpster fire, my lord.
You got a decent amount of money to spend. This is Mike LaFleur. This is your moment to make your first impression. I mean that's the way that I view free agency.
Yep.
This is your moment as a first-year head coach to make your first impression. I think that Clint Kubiak made a pretty decent first impression today. I think that Saleh made a decent first impression today. Mike LaFleur, I don't know what the hell is going on.
Come on, that quarterback room was great.
Well, Jacoby Brissett
and
Gardner Minshew, which
yes.
I said to myself a couple of days ago. I don't know why I was thinking about Gardner Minshew, but I was like, you know what? He had a great run. His whole thing with the mustache kits and Jacksonville.
It feels like forever ago, by the way.
Back in 2019, think about it. That feels like archaic at this point. And he had a good run. He was a decent backup for a couple of years, but I'm at the point where I'm like, his time might be up.
Yeah.
And well, according to the Arizona Cardinals, it's not. As he's coming back on a 1-year, $5.75 million deal, that's a max value of 8. When you factor bonuses in. Will he hit those bonuses? Yeah, I don't know. I thought that Malik Willis, given their financial situation and given the situation with their team overall, I thought that Malik Willis was hands down the guy for them. Especially, we talked about familiarity a little while ago, right? He's connected to Mike LaFleur through his brother Matt. That was his coach in Green Bay. He's connected with Monty Ossenfort. He was in Tennessee's front office when they drafted him, and he had connections to Nathaniel Hackett. Because he was on the Packers staff last year. So, a lot of connections to Arizona. I thought it made sense. And granted, Willis had connections to Miami, too, with both Halfley and Sully down there. But I thought that Arizona just made a little more sense situation-wise, given the fact that, tanking right now.
Right.
No, they got him. Tyler Algier.
Who I like.
I like a lot, but Arizona, the timing, I don't know if it adds up. They got Isaac Sumalo, who.
No thanks.
Yeah. They got punter Blake Gillikin and Roy Lopez. That was their day today. So this was your moment, Mike LaFleur, to make your first impression. and you gave us a shit sandwich.
Well, hey. To be fair, it takes two to tango. So they very well could have been on the phone with who knows. And they're like, yeah, Arizona, no thanks.
Now that is true because I mean it's no. You and I first started watching football, in the early mid 2000s. Arizona was on the uprise, and so we saw for a little bit where they're successful. Those Kurt Warner years, and then little remnants afterwards, like mid 2010s, they were good. They had those Carson Palmer teams a
Carson
couple
Palmer,
years.
yeah.
Started 8-0 with Kyler a couple of years ago, but ever since then, like I said, it's been a giant shit sandwich.
Yes.
I want times to get better because they got a good fan base, except for that guy with the really high pitched squeal. That was that video that went viral last year, yelling at the refs. You could hear him on the other side of the stadium with his high pitched squeal. Dan the High Talker.
They practically give those tickets away.
Well,
how many Cardinal fans have you really ever? That fan base is pathetic.
I was just trying to be nice. But yeah, no, you're right.
Well, I'm here to not be nice.
That's why he's got the shades on.
That's right.
And I will say this about the Cardinals fan base. I feel like every time I watch a Cardinals game, there's always some just like outwardly obnoxious fan there. Whether it be, remember the Monday night game we watched a couple years ago?
The Rams.
Guy that was like,
I'll never forget it.
The entire game.
I'll never forget it.
or just some lady screaming at the top of her lungs, and the mic just picks up the whole game like, shut up.
Yeah, no, not a fan.
Of course, those sound effects they used to have at good old Sun Devil Stadium.
Yeah, nothing. I'm all out on the Cardinals, I must say.
Yeah, that today was a disappointing day for them. There's one trade in particular I want to ask you about. I thought was a crazy overpay.
Okay.
Michael Pittman.
I knew he was going to go there. I knew it.
Going to Pittsburgh for 3 years, $59 million. Look, I like him. I think he's got a lot of upside, but that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, Pittsburgh just they feel like they need a real number two, and they do. Let's be Calvin Austin. Come on, let's get.
And you and I both are not DK guys either.
No, I don't like DK. DK is a wannabe tough guy. I don't care how big he looks. He's a wannabe tough guy. Because let me tell you, I've seen guys get in his face and bitch him multiple times.
Guys that are much smaller than him.
Much smaller, yes. Jalen Ramsey is actually his daddy. So, I don't know. Michael Pittman, good player, but definitely an overpay.
I will say a good deal that Pittsburgh made. I like them getting Jamel Dean. I've always been a Jamel Dean fan.
Yeah, solid pickup to put him with Joey Porter Jr., who had a really solid year last year. He finally is starting to look a little bit better, which kills me to say because he's a Penn State guy, but
oh please, you love Penn State.
No, but Penn State doesn't even love Penn State. Let's get real.
Yeah, I mean, after losing that UCLA game last year, that I think that fan base was pretty much just like, yep. And we're on here after all that talk about going to the national championship last year. That's how it ended up.
Yeah, it's like what do Penn State fans talk about? It's like you talk about two things: constantly losing and how your players can't even comfortably shower. It's
oh my god,
it's a mess in Penn State, I must say.
What a mess! Another thing. So I will give the Jets a little bit of credit here.
Oh Lord.
When it comes to some of the defensive guys they got, I like them getting Osai. I thought they got him for a decent price. He's a good, reliable linebacker. Demario Davis again.
Old head.
He's an old head, but decent price. 11 mil a year. I'll take it. And then Tavondre Sweat, that trade with Tennessee.
Don't like it.
He's a guy where like the upside is there, but I'm waiting to see it. You know, an offensive guy I can compare him to is like Marvin Harrison Jr. You saw what he did at Texas, was very good, but I haven't seen it displayed consistently in the league yet.
Well, here's the thing from what a lot of like the beat reporters in Tennessee would say is, you look at him at training camp and he's a fat, lazy nose tackle. I mean, the motor is there, but not consistently, and a lot of times he doesn't care for it to be. So that's up to him. I mean, he's got to be more reasonable with his weight and true, ambitions, because he's not. What the hell? He's a good player, but he's just not motivated enough, and that's why Tennessee was like, you want him, you can have him. It's
which is unfortunate, because I look at him and just because of his size, like I see a lot of upside. We've seen guys like him be absolute wrecking balls on defensive lines, but you've got to have the motor.
Yeah.
Okay. You've got to have the motivation, or it doesn't mean anything.
That's right.
I also want to give credit where credit's due. The Cincinnati Bengals didn't do bad today.
No, they're all
right. They needed an edge rush bad, because losing Hendrickson. They got Boye Mafe.
Good player.
Which he was a solid guy for Seattle this year, and then they got Brian Cook from Kansas City, who
good safety.
I think was a good safety. I like it.
Yeah, they did all right. Nothing that the defense is still going to be.
At least it's somewhat better. At least there's somewhat of kind of a pulse.
Well, we can hope, but I don't know.
And
we'll see.
I think a last thing, we're going on an hour here, so a last thing I want to touch on here, a similarity that I'm seeing between this year and last year. But we've seen this with our Super Bowl champions now 2 years in a row, and you and I have had a lot of dialogue about comparing Seattle to Philly last year, where they win the Super Bowl, people see the cap space, people see the roster, people see the front office, and they're like, oh, this team's going to run the table for 5 years.
Right.
I think that's going to be the case. I think that LA is clearly the better team in the NFC West going into the season, especially after now. There's a lot of diluting that happened with Seattle today. We knew that K9 wasn't going to come back. We knew that last week. Boye Mafe, Kobe Bryant, we knew they were going to be free agents, and
Tariq Woolen's a free agent.
Tariq Woolen's a free agent. We don't know where he's going yet, but we know that Mafe's out the door. We know that Kobe Bryant is out the door as well. So it's just it's weird already seeing some of the foundational pieces of the Super Bowl team start to go elsewhere. And I know that they got to make space for. The JSN deal is going to be massive.
Oh yeah.
The spoon deal at some point is going to be huge. And so they've got to ship some guys out to make the space for it. But it whenever you win a Super Bowl, people are going to pluck your coordinators, which you saw this year, and everybody's going to want your guys.
Yep, and they're going to overpay your guys.
And then overpay your guys, kind of like we saw last year with Milton Williams, with Darius Slay. Milton Williams is good this year, but I still think it was an overpay.
A lot of money.
A lot of money for him. I'm expecting top tier defensive tackle performance out of that, which he was good, not top of the league, but he was good. And Pittsburgh overpaid for an aging Darius Slay.
Yeah.
And both guys, but both Kobe Bryant and Boye Mafe were slightly overpaid today.
100%, and it'll always happen. It'll always happen with Super Bowl winning teams. Guys will get paid, and each position has their true value and what teams are willing to spend. Good for you guys. You got your ring, go get paid. It's just how it goes, time and time again.
That's what I would say too. You want we've got to manage our cap situation here. We have certain contracts that we have to prioritize. Go get your money. It's out there. There's people with deep pockets who want you. Go out there and get it. It's just the the cycle of life, and you know, in the NFL, and I've always been a proponent of. I mean, you and I of the trenches, right? Offense
Yep.
and defense, like that's where it all starts. Philly was great there. Seattle was great there. You can only keep it intact for so long with contracts and injuries and whatnot, and age. Guys retire. If you want to be a dynasty, that to win a Super Bowl, you don't need an elite quarterback. You've seen plenty of non-elite quarterbacks win Super Bowls. To become a dynasty, you need one. Chiefs with Mahomes, Patriots with Brady. They're going to be a dynasty. Yeah. Like I think we can erase the Philly and Seattle dynasty talk because it's not going to happen.
No. Now, before we go, one last thing.
Yeah.
I can't say enough, and you texted me earlier that you also felt very happy about it. I gotta give a shout out to my boy Jalen Phillips.
Yes, I wanted to mention Jalen Phillips. He's on the thumbnail. I didn't say. Okay,
yes.
Okay. Let's talk about that.
Who, my goodness, absolute payday. A payday that Miami was never going to give him because he is prone to injury. But, you know, man, for everything he's been through, good for him, man. That is a hell of a deal.
I mean, $30 million a year.
Yeah.
For an edge rusher.
Cast in.
And you know, you and I were both watching that game. The Black Friday game against the Jets when he got eaten up by the MetLife turf monster and tore his Achilles, right?
Yep.
Tore his Achilles. And you and I were both like, man, that he was on pace for his contract because he was lights out. He was lights out in 2022, and then 2023 just building off of what he already did. Well, and then, like this, it was supposed to be his year. That happens, and it was devastating.
Yep.
And now, you know, we saw him go to Philly, rebound, had a productive year last year. It was a great addition at the deadline last year. And now he's going to Carolina. He's getting a payday, and I'm just that, you know, I'm not gonna lie. I got a little emotional when that came out, just because I saw the moment with the Achilles. I thought it was all over, and then just to see him get that redemption. You know, there's a lot of shit that goes on in our league. I mean, sad shit. We see guys get cut all the time. We see guys get released. We see it not pan out for some guys. But these stories, these redemption stories, like Jalen Phillips, you know. It's at the end of the day, it is a business, but it is one of those things that you really gotta celebrate and acknowledge what you see, because that is absolutely the bright side of our league.
Well, and it's crazy, you know, when he was, you know, at first he went to UCLA, he had a bunch of, you know, concussions, he had some head issues, and the doc pretty much told him, like, yeah, like, you're probably done playing football. And eventually he got clearance to keep playing, and he ends up going to the U and playing there and being a really, really good player. I believe I want to say he had a concussion there too, but ended up still getting to the league, you know, played for us. Now, the thing with Jalen Phillips was always the sack numbers were never there. There were a couple games where he would have, you know, 2 or 3 sacks, whatever. But overall, like 8.5 sacks, I want to say, was the most he had in a year. The numbers were never high, but the disruption he always had in the pocket. I mean, he's an athletic freak. He's built like he's an animal, dude. He's absolutely jacked, completely athletic. Like, he's a good edge rusher. The numbers aren't there, but if you watch the game, you see how much of a disruptor he is. And then not only did he tear his Achilles, right? He comes back, and then I want to say it was week 4 that we played the Titans in 2024. He tears his ACL right away. You know, he comes back in record time from an Achilles. It was like 8 or 9 months. Really, really, really great. Comes back very early on in the season. It looked like he just got stepped on, but he ended up tearing. It was. I want to say it was a Monday night game against Tennessee. It was.
Yes, I remember that.
It was awful. Snoop Huntley was our quarterback. Dude, it was bad. And so, you know, he tears ACL there, and you're like, man, Achilles and ACL. It's like, this guy just, he can't catch a break, you know. And so then once he ended up getting to go to Philly the year after that, and, you know, start off really hot for him, and now he got paid. So I'm happy he's joining a fellow Dolphin down there, Robert Hunt, that I love me some Rob Hunt. who also got a huge bag from them a couple years ago. So he'll be taken care of down there, man. I'm happy for Jalen Phillips.
Will the Panthers now be your second favorite team?
No, I will never have a second favorite team. It's the Fins for life, pal.
I mean, they do have Sir Purr, so
Sir Purr is pretty badass. I follow him on Instagram. I'm not gonna lie.
that Jackson DeVille is superior.
No. Sir Purr would rip his face off.
I'm only messing with you. Sir Purr's elite.
Oh, I know. Just ask Robbie Anderson. He still doesn't know who Sir Purr is.
Which is insane. Well, the only one and this one just so y'all watching know, this thing is in Zeke's living room. The pig, the commander's pig.
Yeah. Guy gets me a commander's pick. I'm like, what the hell is this? It's unbelievable. This guy, I tell you.
Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah, I don't shop there. I'm much more of a Winn-Dixie kind of guy. Sorry.
I'm a Publix guy. Publix for life.
Thank
Take it
you.
easy. Well, thank you all for tuning in today. We will be back on Thursday with a winners and losers episode. Once we because there's still a couple deals that have to go down. There's still a couple things we're figuring out this week. So I don't want to have a comprehensive winners or losers list just yet because it's still taking shape. But I think Thursday will be the right time for that. So we will be back.
That's right.
But thank you all for watching and have a great day.